Welcome into Rogue Football. I'm your host, Jordan Lugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here. Wednesday, January 31st, Senior Bowl practices. Day 2 of the 2024 Senior Bowl are in the books. We will look at the national team practice and American team practice, talk about some of these standout performers from each practice. Fired up to get into it. If you enjoy the content here, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Really appreciate y'all getting us over 1,000 subscribers yesterday. Could not be doing what we do without y'all tuning in, checking these videos out, and engaging with us. So again, really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. All right, starting with the national team practice. Quinyon Mitchell, he continued to shine. Look, when you're put in one-on-one situations in these types of settings, there's going to be times where you lose reps, bottom line. But he's winning a lot more reps than he's losing. You saw him get an interception in one-on-one drills. Quinyon Mitchell continues to prove that he is a first-round talent. Another player who I thought shined today, Kingsley Suamatia out of BYU, a really impressive athlete with size and length. I thought that he was fairly dominant throughout the practice today. A guy that on tape I saw some technical refinement that needed to be had. And I think you've seen some improvement in that regard, especially at the Senior Bowl in these one-on-one and team drills. Saw him dominating some guys out there. So you love to see that for him. A guy that, again, is an incredible athlete with great size and athleticism and length. Leatu Latu out of UCLA looked really damn good today. The pass rush tool bag, it is uncanny. The flexibility, he was winning a lot. Not to be a big surprise there. One of the top players at the Senior Bowl, one of the top defenders at the Senior Bowl, no doubt about it. Adisa Isaac, eye-opening day for him in my opinion. Talked about him playing well yesterday too, but he was giving everybody fits, including Talise Fuaga. When they went head-to-head in some of these team drills, you saw him get around the edge twice on Fuaga. You saw him bull rush him into the backfield, into the quarterback's lap. I think Fuaga was able to anchor and kind of maybe not win the rep, but split the rep probably with Adisa Isaac. But this is a guy, Isaac, who has great length, has great athleticism. You've seen on tape that he is a tenacious run defender, has that base down skill set. Now you see him kind of stacking some impressive reps as a pass rusher, right? You're not seeing advanced hand usage, but you're seeing a guy who can get around the edge, bend the edge, guy who can win with some speed to power. Adisa Isaac, he is rising, no doubt about that. Marshawn Lloyd, running back out of USC, former big-time recruit. He looks like a 3-down back. He's done a lot of nice things over the last couple of days. Guys that you cannot cover on the national team at wide receiver, Javon Baker out of UCF. We've talked about him. Malachi Corley, Ricky Pearsall, Roman Wilson. He is so damn fast. He even had Quinyon Mitchell in a blender a little bit and made an incredible catch at the end of practice, one-handed on the sideline. Roman Wilson is a riser, a guy that has incredible speed. And this is just from what you've seen on tape. I already had a top 50 grade on him. Incredible speed, incredible toughness. The toughness stands out, maybe above all else. And then you also talk about the fact that he can run routes, he can tempo, he can throttle up and down, has really strong hands as well. Not the biggest guy, but he is going to bring speed, toughness, great hands to your football team. So he's a fun guy. Luke McCaffrey, highly competitive. Obviously the brother of Christian, son of Ed. Talise Fuaga, I mentioned that Adisa Isaac gave him some trouble today. Look, he is still really impressive, Talise Fuaga is. His pass sets are fantastic. His hands and feet are coordinated in his pass sets. As a run blocker, there's no one better. He is technically sound. But I do not believe that he has great foot speed and quickness. So some guys are going to be able to beat him around the edge, as you saw today with Adisa Isaac. Some guys are going to be able to cross his face, as you will see when he gets to the next level. And there are all these stud pass rushers trying to beat him, right? I like him more at guard. I said you can plug him in at tackle. I do think you can plug him in at tackle. I think that at tackle, the limitations will show up more than they show up at guard. I see the path to like an all-pro guard. Maybe a borderline Pro Bowl tackle, but an all-pro guard, like potentially the best guard in football at some point in his career. That's why I want to move Talise Fuaga inside, not because he can't play tackle. I do think he can play tackle. I think he could be potentially the best guard in football. I think that's the type of skill set he has. Maybe not day one, But at some point, in his prime, I think Talise Fuaga could be that. I don't think he has any chance of ever being the best tackle in football, but I think he could absolutely be the best guard. I know that's going to rub some people the wrong way. A lot of people are hot and bothered about the Talise Fuaga discourse, moving him inside. You don't have to move him inside, but you're going to get the best results if you do. I feel very confident about that. Michael Hall, another player who really stood out today to me, an interior pass rusher, really a designated pass rusher type player from Ohio State. Not a guy that played a lot because, again, was more of a designated pass rusher than a 3-down player, but he is clearly a great attacking rusher from the interior, has length, has athleticism, has enough size, again, to rush from the interior in pass rushing situations. I think you want him attacking with those long arms and athleticism in the pass rush arsenal that he has. I just don't know that he's going to be able to ever kind of be a 3-down player. So that's going to limit potentially his upside in terms of where he could go in the draft. But if you need someone who can come in and create interior penetration, he can absolutely do it for you. Austin Booker, this is a guy that really stood out to me today out of Kansas. Had not seen him on tape, went back and watched him a little bit. I saw some stiffness on tape, a guy that is obviously really wiry, only 240 pounds as an edge rusher. But he has length to him. He does have some athleticism. He has a little pass rush tool bag, a guy that was winning a lot in the team portion of practice today and in one-on-ones, a guy to continue to keep an eye on. Jalen Harrell out of Michigan, he popped as an edge rusher, long arms. He was able to get into the chest of Jordan Morgan with a long arm and push his way back into the quarterback. I thought he had some really nice reps. Looking at quarterback, I thought Bo Nix was the most impressive quarterback on the national team practice. Obviously, Michael Penix can play as well. Peyton Wilson, he was popping off the tape, had a pass breakup, was really flying around. A guy that super talented off-ball linebacker out of NC State, but has the injury history that really is going to be the biggest question about his projection to the next level. Looking at the American practice, Xavier Legette, he was limping after a really nice catch and run in one-on-one. He came back, though, was able to get back out on the field and had a big-time grab and a really nice route in the team portion of practice down the field, out-breaking route from Spencer Rattler. Was able to get wide open, go up and get the football. I thought Xavier Legette looked better today, and I thought when you went back and looked at some of the incompletions yesterday, the quarterbacks weren't giving him a ton of chances to make plays on the football. So I think Xavier Legette, still a very exciting prospect. Unbelievable size. When you talk about 225 pounds, 6'1", obviously not as tall as he was listed, doesn't have the length probably that you were expecting, but still a guy that can absolutely high point the football, has really impressive combination of skills, and the fastest man in college football last year, right? Or in the pros. Fastest timed ball carrier on the planet last year was Xavier Legette. So a guy that's going to be really interesting to see where he goes, how teams are able to use him at the next level. Jackson Powers Johnson, he left with a trainer at some point, I think, during individual, but he's been phenomenal throughout practices so far. Did not see him come back in team drill, so we'll have to see what happens there with him. Hopefully nothing serious, obviously, for Jackson Powers Johnson, who for my money is the best interior offensive lineman in this class and a guy that should be a first-round pick. Tavondre Sweat, Texas defensive tackle, he is such a beast. I don't know that he's a 3-down guy, not because he doesn't have a 3-down skill set, but because he's going to need reps off. At his size, which is just huge, he didn't even weigh in. I think probably because he's even bigger than he was at Texas. But when he is out there fully energized, he is immovable against the run, and he can absolutely push the pocket and penetrate as a pass rusher, get low and blow people off the ball, push them into the backfield. Again, I don't think he has a 3-down skill set because I don't think he can play all 3 downs from a endurance standpoint. But I think whenever he is out there, he's going to be able to give you a lot as long as he's fully energized. Another player who really impressed me today, I was already impressed with this guy. I had Darius Robinson as a second-round pick going back to early January when I first started watching him, but he impressed me again with his length, his athleticism, his power, 286 pounds, 34.5-inch arms, almost 35-inch arms. Darius Robinson, the power, the length, the pass rush arsenal, the ability to also set the edge. I mean, this is a guy that can play all over your defensive front. He dominated today. And a guy that if you're a team, like my Jaguars who want big edge players, Darius Robinson's your guy, and then kick him inside in clear pass rushing situations. I don't think he lost more than a rep or two all day, one-on-one or in team. He was fantastic. Jaquan Johnson was uncoverable out of Tulane again today. A guy that just has great speed, quickness, route tempo, can separate in a flash. And he's a shorter guy at 5'9", but he's 190 pounds. So he has some density to him, some mass to his frame. He's going to be interesting as well to see what happens with him at the next level. Ladd McConkey still creating great separation. You did see him get jammed up once today, which is something he's going to have to improve on at the next level. But a creative offensive coordinator should have no problem being able to avoid him getting jammed up in situations like that way more often than not. Christian Braswell popped a couple times as a pass rusher, a guy that hasn't been maybe as impressive as you would expect for someone who's probably going to be viewed by most as a second-round pick. I have a second-round grade on him right now. He flashed a little bit for me today, though. Christian Haynes, he was awesome again on the interior at a UConn, guy that I think a lot of people are getting their eyes open to. Tyler Guyton, not nearly as dominant today. You saw Darius Robinson get him. I think you saw Nelson Caesar get him as well. Guyton, as I said yesterday, he is an incredible talent. They just do not make guys that are 6'7", 330 pounds, 34-plus-inch arms that can move the way he does, that have the strength that he does, the core power, but he does not know how to use his hands right now. That's the bottom line. He just does not. And so it's going to be a lot of development needed for him at the next level. Saw DJ James out of Auburn jump a route in team drills, wasn't able to catch the football, went down and did some push-ups afterwards, but it was a really nice read by him on a quick drop. I believe it was by the Tulane quarterback, Michael Pratt. Wanted to give Ryan Flournoy a shout out, a pretty big wide receiver, over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds. I've just seen him making a lot of plays all over the field the last couple days for the American team, for the American offense. Running back Dejan Edwards out of Georgia. He looks explosive. Spin move in team drills yesterday in the hole. He had a long run today. He's shown some hands out of the backfield. This is a guy that might be able to come in and be a really nice complement that could provide some explosiveness. He's over 200 pounds, so he's not tiny. Really interesting. At running back, though, Ray Davis is my guy here. I love Ray Davis. You saw him bust off a nice run today. And then, finally, quarterback for the American team, Spencer Rattler. He impressed me. This is a guy that, way back when, even myself, I viewed him as a potential first-round pick after that freshman year at Oklahoma. Things did not go his way. Caleb Williams came onto the scene, all that stuff, transferred to South Carolina, but he's been a team captain. He's been a guy that's improved a lot in terms of his process over the last couple years. The talent has never been questioned for Spencer Rattler, and he continues to pop. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up landing in the 2024 NFL draft. A guy that, if he impresses some teams during the team meetings, shows that he's matured, show that he is a guy that can lead an offense, he could be drafted a lot higher than a lot of people expect. We'll see how it plays out. But that is my Senior Bowl 2024 Day 2 recap. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.